Hello and welcome back to the vlog. My name is Catherine Torvell. You're watching the No B-Roll life while getting out of debt. So nothing fancy here other than getting out of debt in 2021. So I have to apologize. In my aha moment video, I did say that I was going to give you a breakdown of my house life expenses versus van life. And I've been sick since the end of November, and sometimes when I went to go do the video, I couldn't speak. I couldn't actually get the words out, and it was really getting to me at that point in time. So without further ado, this is the video to give you that breakdown. So let's hop into it. My rent was £475. My council tax was $75. My water was $26. My gas, my electric was $75. Now these are all considered priority bills. Okay, $25 for my internet. My car lease was $125. My petrol, and then I switched and ended up then switching over to diesel, was £100 to £150. My car insurance, again, that was changing as well. It was normally with my smart car, it was £36. When I got the Ford Focus, it went up to $43. There was life insurance at £30. My mobile was $20. I paid £8 for Netflix. Now, miscellaneous spending. So I went through all of my bank statements for 3 months and did an average how much I was spending on things like going to my canteen when I was working a lot of overtime, or when I was going to go out with friends, for example. If I went to like Frankie and Benny's, or if I went to Nando's or something like that. I included all of this in that miscellaneous spending. I do say AKA stupid spending because a lot of it was stupid. I could have gotten by on the food that I was buying at the store and just made my lunch every day. I could have done that. So for food expenditure, I spent between £200 and £250 depending. So that was just on average. For my prescriptions, I spent £10. I used to have 2 cats, and I used to spend £20 per month on food, cat litter, flea medicine, all of that, and that only came to £20. I do not have cats any longer, unfortunately. My debt repayment was at £676, people. And this is what really hurt me. And it brought my total up to £2,158 per month. It hurt every single month. And this is why I would go into my overdraft every single month. Now, some months I didn't because I was working enough overtime to be able to cover it. However, on the odd month that I wasn't working overtime, or maybe there was no overtime for 2 or 3, 4 months, I would then dip back into my overdraft, and that was kind of that vicious cycle, that thing. It wasn't always like this, but I used this as a prime example of when there was no overtime. So the next thing we are going to discuss is how it changed once I moved into the van. So this is what is really once exciting. I got into the van, I was then not paying for rent, council tax, gas, electric. It was amazing. So it was really, really good. And I honestly attribute getting the van and finally doing what I needed to do to start to pay off debt. And this is the breakdown of my expenses at that point. So I paid £150 in diesel. Now, at first I had propane in the van. I then later switched it to LPG. So at first it was £75, and then it was £30 per month. So quite a bit of difference. And I'll do a video separately on why I switched from propane to LPG and the heater situation. So for my van insurance, I paid £36. My tax for the van was $23. My mobile was £40. Now this has increased. Now the reason why this increased is I did get another contract SIM card only for my iPad, and this was primarily so I wouldn't run out of data. So some nights, you know, when you're you know, in the van on your own when it's rainy, all you want to do is lay in bed and watch Netflix. No different than if you were in a normal house. However, to make sure that I had enough data, I did increase that to 40 pounds. So my Netflix was 6 pounds. I got Prime for free still. My food was approximately 200. I was able to then reduce my miscellaneous spending to approximately 50 pounds a month. And this was primarily to still allow me to go out with my friends and on the occasion, maybe once or twice a week, if I needed to go ahead and get something from the canteen if I had forgotten my lunch, for example, or if I just didn't fancy what I had brought in, because that happened too. So my prescriptions were still 10 pounds. My pet supplies were still at 20. I had one cat at this time and she was living with me in the van. And my debt repayments were still 676 pounds. So that totals 1,286 pounds, leaving approximately 700 pounds for my debt snowball. Now, as time went on, I was able to find ways to cut back more. So I would only maybe go out with my friends maybe once a month, or maybe we went to somewhere cheaper, or we found a better deal, somewhere where we could actually, you know, afford a little bit more value for money. So at this point in time, I was able to then increase it from 880 to 1,000 pounds. And that is variable. Some months, if let's say I don't go out with my friends, then I put that 50 pounds or what have you, I'll put that towards, you know, something else. And that would go on to the debt snowball. Once I was paying off more of the debts, that number, that 676, obviously was starting to come down for the actual debt repayment, and I was then able to increase the snowball. And that's the whole point of a debt snowball. So March 2020 pretty much changed for everybody. I think it changed everybody's lives with the virus and knowing what was going to happen. Now, here we are, January 2021, 24th of January 2021, and I don't think any of us ever thought that we would still be in the same position whereby we weren't going to work every day. And so it did change everything. So I kind of was a little bit like, oh boy, I was sent home with a laptop, and when I say home, I was like, well, I don't really have a home. What am I gonna do? You know, I was like, do I need to go and try to find a place so I can actually, you know, have a job still? And I will say up front, I am not paying anything towards rent, so I am forever grateful, and to him, his family, like I said, because, you know, without their support, I wouldn't then be able to tackle the debt the way that I have been able to tackle it. But I have been paying towards council tax, gas, electric, and internet, and so we'll go over those expenses now. So for council tax, I paid half, 50 pounds per month. Gas and electric and internet, 50 pounds. Now, water was every 6 months, but you know, I do a little bit of a sinking fund for this, so I have broken it down, and that is 44 pounds per month. Every 6 months, I'll pay one set time, and my O then pays the next time. My mobile is still 40 pounds. Now, I should have probably gone to the company I have my sim only deals with and tried to reduce that. If taking a look at it now, I probably should have done that. However, I guess, again, we never thought we'd be in this position, still nearly a year later. My Netflix, we were able to reduce that down to 6 pounds, so we weren't viewing on multiple screens. When I was in the van, when my O would want to watch Netflix in the evening, he could still do so because we had a multi-screen subscription. We don't have that anymore, and we were able to reduce it down to 6 pounds. Not a lot, but even so. Our Prime is free. Our food, I pay about 180 pounds per month. Miscellaneous is 25 pounds. Every once in a while, we will go and get a takeaway. Now, for several months, we didn't go and get a takeaway because everything was closed. So I just kind of put that 25 pounds kind of to the side, And then when we were actually able to go and have a takeaway, I think we had a couple of takeaways in a row with that money. So my debt repayments currently are down to £210 per month. So I've gotten rid of all of the big things. I am really on the 2 last ones that I have, and so that's really fantastic. So my sinking funds, I pay £25 into one account for one and then £50 for another. At this point in time, the £25 goes to van repairs and the £50 goes towards birthdays and Christmases. My debt snowball is still at £880. Sometimes, like I said, that does go up to $1,000 depending on what we're doing or spending. And food does fluctuate, but pretty much, and miscellaneous sometimes fluctuates. So if for some reason we're not going to go for a takeaway, I may just end up putting that money, if we decide we're not going to do that this month, we go ahead and sweep that money across to that debt snowball to help it. So that is a total of £1,524. So there you have it. The house life when I was living on my own, van life, and now during the lockdown expenses. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like and please subscribe and hit that notification bell. I will see you guys on the next video.